Welcome to my channel Sella Buzz. The tale of an old couple who died in their house, but I can assure you that this isn't what you would have assumed. The stakes are too high to dismiss the deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa as a simple accident because there are too many unresolved questions and inconsistencies surrounding them. Determining the true cause of their deaths could reveal deeper problems and possibly stop similar tragedies in the future. On February 26, 2025, the bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa were found in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. Hackman, a legendary actor celebrated for his roles in class films like The French Connection and Unforgiven, had retired from Hollywood nearly 2 decades earlier to live a quiet life with Arawa, a 65-year-old classical pianist, a maintenance worker. Making a routine check, noticed the front door was wide open after receiving no response to his knocks. He entered and discovered Hackman's body in the foyer and Arakawa in the bathroom. Both showed signs of advanced decomposition, indicating they had been deceased for several days. Strangely, one of their dogs was found dead in a closet near Arakawa, while their other 2 dogs were found alive elsewhere in the house. Initial observations revealed no signs of forced entry, no obvious external injuries, and no evidence of theft on the surface. It appeared to be a tragic case of an elderly couple passing away at home. But as investigators would soon discover, nothing about this case was as simple as it seemed. The investigation began to uncover several unusual details near Arakawa's body. Investigators found prescription medications scattered on the bathroom floor, including medications for blood pressure and thyroid conditions. This suggested a possible medical emergency or overdose. A major breakthrough occurred when medical examiners analyzed data from Hackman's pacemaker, which showed his heart had stopped on February 17, 2025, approximately 9 days before the bodies were discovered. This vital information narrowed the time frame of their deaths and raised an important question. If Hackman died on February 17th, when exactly did Arakawa pass away? Carbon monoxide poisoning was swiftly ruled out after tests revealed no gas leaks or elevated levels in the home. The maintenance worker's 911 call added to the mystery when he first reported that he had discovered one person dead inside the house. Later in the same call, he corrected himself and said that 2 individuals were dead. Was this just shock-related confusion, or was there more to the story as word spread? Questions concerning the couple's last days surfaced because, according to neighbors and family, no one had seen or spoken to them for almost 2 weeks prior to the bodies being found. This prolonged period of time without communication wasn't wholly unusual for the privacy-conscious couple, but it did raise concerns about why no one had checked on them sooner. The body's placement offered possible Arakawa's presence in the bathroom with medications suggested that she may have been trying to get medicine during a medical emergency, but the fact that one dog died and the others survived perplexed investigators. The deceased dog was discovered in a closet close to Arakawa, almost as if it had hidden there, and the surviving dogs were discovered in various locations throughout the house, dehydrated but alive. What had caused one dog to die while the others survived? A number of theories concerning the deaths surfaced. According to the medical experts the investigation team consulted, Hackman most likely had a severe cardiac event on February 17th that would have caused him to collapse suddenly in the foyer, as indicated by his pacemaker data. Arawa probably heard her husband fall and rushed to his aid when she discovered him unconscious. She may have hurried to the bathroom to get his medications, but while there, she might have had a medical emergency of her own, possibly a heart attack brought on by stress or a pre-existing condition. This theory is supported by the various medications discovered close to her body, which suggests she may have been desperately looking for something to help herself or her husband when she passed out. However, this theory does not account for all the peculiarities of the case, such as the dead dog in the closet, where some investigators have hypothesized the dog may have been ill already and sought out a peaceful hiding place. Despite extensive testing, others have raised more concerning possibilities, such as the dog ingesting something poisonous that also killed the people. Although there were no environmental pollutants discovered in the house, the maintenance worker's 911 call is still controversial. Some have questioned whether there might be more to his confusion, but his revision from finding 1 dead person to 2 could have been the innocent consequence of shock upon making such a grim discovery. The maintenance worker was thoroughly screened by detectives, who discovered no questionable ties. According to friends interviewed for the investigation, the couple usually maintained at least some contact with a small circle of trusted individuals. As investigators continued their work, they looked into the couple's medical histories. His employment history was clean, and he had been working at the property for several years, but his call remains one of the more mysterious aspects of the case. Another aspect generating significant speculation is the extended period of time during which the couple had no contact with the outside world while they valued their privacy. A complete absence of communication for nearly 2 weeks struck many who knew them as unusual. Hackman was known to have heart problems and had a pacemaker put in several years prior at the age of 95. Although Arakawa, 65, was much younger, she had her own health issues, including thyroid and blood pressure issues. The autopsy reports generated fresh issues in addition to offering some clarification. According to Hackman's pacemaker data, his cause of death was formally recorded as cardiac arrest. However, Arakawa's autopsy was less certain. Although the medical examiner identified heart disease symptoms, they were unable to conclusively indicate if the stress of attempting to assist her husband was the actual cause of her death, or if there were indications of a potential collapse. The dog's autopsy showed that it had died of dehydration, indicating that it had been confined to the closet for a number of days without access to water. The entertainment business in Santa Fe were rocked by the murders of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arawak. Even after retiring in 2004, Hackman was still adored in Hollywood for his extraordinary versatility and commitment. His roles in movies like The French Connection and Unforgiven, for which he received Academy Awards, solidified his reputation. Arakawa, though less publicly known, was respected as a talented classical pianist. The couple had been together since the early 1980s and married in 1991, maintaining a relationship that lasted over 4 decades. They had chosen Santa Fe as their sanctuary away from the spotlight. Their relationship was often cited as one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories, despite the 30-year age gap between them. Friends described them as deeply devoted to one another. This devotion makes the theory that Arakawa may have died while attempting to save her husband all the more believable. Despite extensive investigation, questions about their deaths continue to circulate. One theory that gained traction involves the possibility of a delayed fatal incident. According to this theory, Hackman may have fallen and injured himself on February 17th, and Arakawa, unable to lift him or get help due to their remote location and her own limitations, may have struggled for days to care for him before succumbing to exhaustion or a medical event of her own. This theory would explain the time disparity between Hackman's death and the condition of Arakawa's body, which suggested she had died several days later. It would also explain why one dog was found trapped in a closet. Perhaps it had entered during the chaos of the emergency and been accidentally shut in. However, this theory doesn't account for why Arakawa wouldn't have called for emergency assistance. The inquiry verified that both cell phones had battery power left and that the home's phone lines were active. This remains one of the case's most puzzling elements. Why didn't Arawak seek assistance? Some speculate that she might have been confused due to a fall or stress, while others have raised more alarming possibilities. Could there have been an intruder? Although this is doubtful given the absence of forced entrance or signs of struggle, detectives have been cautious not to rule anything out entirely. Many people think that Gene Hackman and Betsy Arawaka perished as a result of a terrible chain of natural circumstances, but the investigation into their deaths is still ongoing. Some people continue to believe that there are too many unresolved issues to accept such a straightforward explanation. Their home's remote location, poor communication, the perplexing 911 call, and one dog's death. Their deaths are still listed as undetermined, not yet ruled an accident, and not yet deemed suspicious enough to be classified as potential homicides. Even though other people survived, and the time interval between their deaths all add to the feeling that something about this case isn't quite adding up. The peculiarity of the case is demonstrated by this classification alone. We do know that whether Hackman passed away unexpectedly and Arakawa struggled alone or something more sinister happened, the end result was the loss of 2 extraordinary people. They likely spent their last moments together, separated by circumstance but united in their decades of love and companionship. If you've read this far, You're obviously interested in enigmatic situations like this one. Don't hide this channel. Give this video to a mystery-loving friend and sign up to become a member of our expanding Truth Seekers group by doing so today. If you have any hypotheses regarding what happened to Gene Hackman and Betsy Arawakawa, please share them in the comments section below. Sometimes, viewers just like you have the most incisive insights. Until next time, hit that notification bell too so you'll be the first to know when we release new investigations. Remain alert, curious, and keep in mind that the truth is frequently stranger than fiction.